It is time now for our last quarter-final match, and Anselino predicting Pleemaker might be the one getting through, who's taking on Supervirta. Listen, they had some kind words for each other as well, but maybe some subtle shots at the other person's game as well. Pleemaker saying Supervirta's defense maybe not that great, and he's going to be trying to take advantage of that. Your thoughts, guys, on this matchup?
I will say this, as we take a look at the head-to-head matchup here, Supervirta, very known in Finland to be a prominent Chell streamer. In fact, a lot of the other competitors in this tournament love watching him on stream, and his dog. We'll get to the dog in a little bit, though. Very famous here in Finland in the Chell scene. But as you look at the head-to-head here, Pleemaker is winning in a lot of key categories here. They do have the same goals per game, a little bit less in the goals against average, but that face-off win is going to be key. Pleemaker loves the face-offs, so that's going to be a key part of his offense.
Yeah, and both of these guys are very offensive-minded players. Players define Pleemaker as deadly. His offense, he just continues to push. He won't let you touch the puck. He'll go around the zone, similar to what we saw Anselino do last game. We can expect to see a lot of that here.
All right, just a short time ago, they played through their first game of the series. Here's a look at some of those highlights. Game one, an always important one. Pleemaker with a fantastic start, guys, and maybe what was our best game of the game one. 4 goals in the first period, and if you thought Supervirta was down and out, he was not. 3 goals in the second, but ultimately, Plee would regain control and Asher go on to win 6-3, leading the series 1-0.
Yeah, I think that shows a lot about Super, that he didn't give up. Being down 4-0 in a big tournament like this, it's tough to bounce back. He almost made his way there, getting it up to 4-3. Unfortunately, not enough to beat Plee in this one, who takes it 6-3.
All right, Supervirta is from Turku, Finland. He finished 3rd in the Xbox qualifier. He likes to use a creative play style to fool his opponents. Here's a deeper look at Supervirta.
I would say that I am okay with defense. I should get better with that one, but offense is my way to go right now in the game. One big deal that can separate me from the other guys is that I use a lot of the manual goalie that is in the game, and I'm getting very good in that one, so that can save me some goals that normally would go in when I take the goalie and control that one.
Well, he simulated a goalie with that mask on. Needs his goalie to be a little better than the one in game one that gave up 6 goals. Let's see what happens the start of game 2 of the series between Pleemaker and Supervirta.
Pleemaker as the Tampa Bay Lightning, Supervirta as the Montreal Canadiens. Pleemaker said of Supervirta, he's a new guy. His offense is pretty good. His defense isn't that great, but he's a great guy. He loves to watch his streams. Meanwhile, this is what Supervirta had to say about Pleemaker. He's very talented. He's a young gun. He's very dangerous. Lots of goals. Every time he has the puck, I think of the worst case scenario, Nasher, because he's very tough to play against.
Yeah, it's unbelievable what he can do, especially in this game. It's tough to really find space, to be creative, but Plee somehow finds a way to do it. We're going to see some beauty goals in this game, and I imagine they may come very early if last game isn't indicated.
Yeah, one word to describe this matchup could very well be fireworks. We shall see. There's Ovechkin. Speaking of fireworks, Ovechkin and Tarasenko on the same line. How about that? That screams fireworks to begin with for Pleemaker in the white Tampa Bay Lightning jerseys, as Pleemaker has it here. What a statement made by the returning players, by the way. All of them scoring 6 goals in game number 1 of their first series.
Yeah, not just winning small. These guys are putting up large amounts of goals, and they're doing it quickly. Plee obviously going to want to get on the board very fast, maybe gain a huge lead like he did in the last game.
We're talking about Supervirta. Of course, he's a prominent streamer. I think the star of his stream, however, is his dog Pavo, who is a little Yorkshire Terrier. I think weighs about 2 pounds. The hashtag to use, because I believe that if Supervirta makes it to Vegas, Pavo is going with him. So hashtag Pavo to Vegas is what his fans are using in order to inspire Virta to bring Pavo. Supervirta's father is a head coach in the Finnish league with Lukka. Hockey is in his blood. He has been surrounded by hockey his entire life. And you can say the same about Pleemaker as well. He lives, breathes, and eats hockey, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and also Chell. Last year, we were saying the same thing about Pleemaker, that he's the young gun. Everyone is pointing to him to be the next big star of European Chell and really compete at that world stage. We're saying the same things here again, Nasher.
Yeah, absolutely. And he lost last year to Eki in overtime. So thinking about what could have been, he had that on his mind, especially going into this tournament. He knew, you know, I was this close to knocking Eki out of the tournament, to going on myself, and unfortunately he couldn't done. So he's hoping to do that here today.
Martinez for Pleemaker behind the goal line, met by 3 Habs jerseys, and it'll be Virta with the puck across the blue line. A pass to nowhere. Pedersen will collect it for Plee. Eberle. Pedersen has it again to Niederreiter. Niederreiter, nice evasion there, has 2 options. Lindholm will score. Pleemaker gets on the board first.
Wow, incredible creativity from Plee early. You saw the spin right around the blue line. We talked about those bone-crunching hits. They can really make or break your game. There, he missed the hit, gave Plee a good opportunity on the 2-on-1, and of course, we know Plee, he's gonna bury it.
Pleemaker's captain on his squad is Sean Couturier, who centers that first line with Ovi and Tarasenko. His assistant captains are Alexander Ovechkin and Brian Boyle. A big sentimental pick there, of course. Hashtag Boyle strong. But the reason he didn't make Ovechkin his captain is because he's a Lightning fan. He doesn't like Ovechkin that much in real life. Maybe resents Ovechkin a little bit being on the Capitals and on the Lightning, but hey, he's too good to pass up.
Right, you know he's not mad that he has Ovechkin on his team. And we talked to Plee before the series. He said he plans on scoring 5+ goals every game. I asked him, even against these elite guys that you're facing in this tournament, he said yes. 5+ goals is his goal, and he's hoping to do it. He did it in his first game. We'll see if he can do it again.
So how well will that serve him in the tournament when he admits something like that? It's one of his goals to score 6 goals, 7 goals against your opponent.
I mean, people know this guy, right? Plee, he was here last year. He put up a lot of goals. He's one of the most creative players that we've seen in this tournament. His first goal, obviously, a very nice L2 at the blue line. He's going to be trying to get creative, do some very strange things that we haven't seen in Chell very often. And, of course, I think it will pay off for him.
Trickling past the goal was that shot by Pleemaker. I mentioned it in the European Regional Finals preview over at NHL.com that Pleemaker loves this game and the community so much. Eki qualified, of course, last year. Here's an opportunity for Virta. We'll miss it there. He decided to join Eki on the trip to Las Vegas, the 15.5-hour flight, and just to make a good impression, they both wore 3-piece suits on the flight. Didn't change when they landed. They wore those suits on the flight, and they showed up in the lobby of the hotel. NHL executives everywhere, shaking hands, making one heck of a first impression.
And it shows a lot about Plee is because he wasn't even in the tournament. To go there in a suit on a 15-hour flight, this guy, he's the real deal. He's a big supporter of Eki, obviously wishes him the best as well. And his dream would be for both of them to make it to Vegas. Obviously, being on opposite sides of the bracket, there's a chance that both him and Eki will move on.
Yeah, a dream scenario for those two best friends if both of them are able to win their respective games, meet in the final, and see what happens there. There's Kucherov for Virta, doesn't make it through. So Pleemaker has a 1-0 lead in the last seconds of this first period. There's Boyle to DeBrusk. Virtanen will lose the puck. There's Virta with 4 seconds to go with Sasha Barkov. And that will be all.
So Pleemaker's style, not just in his suits, we saw it on the ice as well, especially in the build-up to that first goal, the goal that has him ahead of Supervirta in this game, 1-0. Still some work to do if he wants to get the 5, but if you're Supervirta, you're probably happy to have only conceded 1 after giving up 4 in the first period in game 1. It was a big second that puts Supervirta back in that first game. Let's see how he does in the second of game 2.
Your goaltenders in this game for Virta, it's Braden Holtby, and for Pleemaker is Sergei Bobrovsky. Both of them selected in the 8th and 9th rounds of the draft by both of these players respectively. There's the captain Couturier now. Couturier across the blue line, dancing around. There's that L2 we were talking about there. to try and evade. Oh, looking for that cheeky wraparound.
He went for a fake wraparound on the left side, cut it back to the right side using L2, using a little spin. We'll see that a lot from Plee. He likes to work behind the net.
Pleemaker, representing the Tampa Bay Lightning, actually has no Lightning players on his squad, however. Meanwhile, Supervirta does have 3 Montreal Canadiens players. He has Philippe Deneau, Jesperi Kotkaniemi, and Joel Armia. Second period, 16:40 left to go. Pleemaker enjoying a 1-0 lead and also a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series. Lindholm in front of the net will get pushed away. Pettersson has it. Looking for that one-timer there, doesn't get it. There's Brock Besser now for Virta. Rantanen has it. Back to Zaitsev, Nikita Zaitsev. Ekholm to Lindholm, to Niederreiter. Niederreiter back skating with the puck. Will make it past the blue line. There's Pettersson. Pettersson to Martinez at the point, misses the net. Draisaitl doesn't get to the puck, collects it anyway. Ali pass to Rantanen. Dancing around, a great to Besser. The one-hand top. Oh, he had it in position too, Nasher.
And look at the smile on Super's face. He's fancy. He knows he wants to go for the one-hander, especially when he gets any sort of open space on the break. Unfortunately, couldn't get it to go.
Supervirta does say his offense is greater than his defense. He likes to try and keep the puck away from his opponent. He's the one that described himself as the ballerina style of hockey, so that L2 will be in full force in this one.
Yeah, both of these guys going head-to-head with the creativity. We saw Super already attempt a one-hander. We saw a nice goal from Plee. A couple good opportunities from both of these guys.
Supervirta from Turku, Finland. The home of Saku Koivu. Legendary Montreal Canadiens player, as he misses the net there. Also a player that you will hear a lot in the NHL, I'm sure, for years to come. A gentleman by the name of Kaapo Kakko. Where will he be drafted in this year's NHL draft? Eberle has it now. If you were to ask Supervirta, by the way, he would rather see Kakko in a Rangers uniform over a Devils uniform. That's just his personal preference. That's Pleemaker's mother right there looking on. A lot of support from the family and friends. We noticed a lot of people joining the competitors here this weekend in Stockholm. Always great to see. You love to see it, Nasher.
Yeah, of course.
There's Hagelin. Eberle has it. Hagelin at the doorstep and has it again. Another opportunity. Deneau. To Hagelin again. Hagelin is really being funneled for the offense in this rush.
Super shaking his head at that one. He had 3-4 good opportunities. He's had a breakaway with the one-hander. Lots of good chances, but he can't get anything to go right now.
Let me ask you this. We are seeing the back skate a lot, and it is being very effective here. How do you defend against that? It scores! Hold the phone. Pleemaker makes it 2-0.
Wow. Super, look at the shrug on his shoulders there. He's like, yeah, that's a nice goal from Plee. Plee with the deadly offense. We said he's one of the most aggressive players in this tournament when it comes to his offense, and there we see his mother on the screen proudly supporting her son.
And of course, it's Ovi that scores the second goal. He's got the 2 possibly best sniping wingers in the game, and Tarasenko and Ovechkin, definitely top 5.
Yeah, that first line that he has is just deadly. And you gotta love Super's attitude about this thing. He's just happy to be here. You could see on his face, you know what, Plee? That's a good play. He's not angry. You can see he still is in his zone. He's gonna come back fighting, as we saw in the last game.
How about this right here? Kucherov has it. Now Kucherov taking a shot. No, the 5-hole was denied. Save there for Pleemaker. Let's go back to the back skate. I was asking you about how to defend that. What is the best way to do that?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because there's a really tough balance of you have to be patient and kind of just let them do their thing. But then we see guys that'll just go in the corner and kind of just wait it out a little bit. So it's tough. You got to decide, hey, at some point you got to be aggressive. You got to go for the hit. You got to go for the big poke. But that also is the time in which the other guy's going to have a chance to get around you. And there we see Plee being extremely creative, going into there with the L2 and that results in a trip.
So that was exactly how you described the dangers of why the back skate is so effective.
Right.
Drawing the penalty, excellent, particularly when the poke check is used.
Yeah, excuse me, that was Plee that actually took the penalty there. So Super going on to the power play. We'll see if he can get anything set up here.
Well, this is the opportunity he needed. Oh, there with seconds to spare in the second period, missing that one-timer. Still has the puck, though. Time for maybe one more chance. Wilson has it, looking for that Draisaitl one-timer. Won't find it, though. Ekholm, clock ticks away. And yes, it will be 2-0 at the end of the set.
So just like in the first, Pleemaker getting one, and it was a beauty at that as well. Look, Super wants to take his dog to Vegas. Well, he's got 1 period left to get back in this series, down 2-0 in this game, 1-0 in the best of 3. 1 period to go in this game.
Hashtag Pavo to Vegas if you're a fan of Supervirta. Now's the time to throw that in the chat. It's his emote, it's his logo. He also mentioned that he loves to take Pavo out on the town, but hold the phone. It's Pleemaker making sure that Pavo will not get to Vegas. It's 3-0.
Man, Plee is just unreal. It looked like he was going to make the pass over to the other side. He had a guy streaking to the net. But no, instead, he decides to take the shot short side. Not the best opportunity, but it got the job done, and it gives him a huge lead in this game.
Mom is happy. Pleemaker fans are happy. Certainly living up to that billing of being the heir of European Chell competition. Incredible.
This first line for Plee is just coming in huge. You've got Ovechko, you got Couturier, you got Tarasenko. Having those three guys available pretty much every time he has a good opportunity, he throws it on net and it's finding its way in.
How interesting is it that all three returning players, Hansolino, Eki, and Pleemaker, are making such big statements in their first series? It's as if they want this to be recognized as a tournament of 3 rather than a tournament of 8.
Yeah, we know that those guys are unreal. They obviously qualified 2 years in a row, and just to get it straight, this is not an easy tournament to qualify. There's tens of thousands of players that enter this thing. We've dwindled it down to 8 here in Europe, and we have 3 of the same guys. They came to put on a show, and they've certainly given it all for us here.
You have to have gone on a considerable winning streak in order to qualify for any regional, and you mentioned it, tens of thousands of people. Every single eligible European country was represented in qualifying.
And the fact that we have 7 Finnish guys, it shows a lot about their country and how prideful they are with hockey, with the game of Chell. These guys absolutely live and die for this thing. They put in hours upon hours every single day, and we can see it paying off.
I mean, can you imagine the pride that they have right now? 7 Finnish players competing in this tournament. One of them, of course, guaranteed to go. There will be 1 Finn at least going to, well, no, actually, with Eilung out of the tournament, there will be 2 Finns going. That is a point of pride. Last year we saw it as well. As soon as, even when a player was eliminated, they backed their player. Delayed penalty here. And it will be a power play. So Supervirta with a little bit of life here. It's 12:58 left in the third period. But that is a huge point of pride. To put Finland on the map in the way that Eki did last year, people are definitely talking about that.
And now Super's chance to finally bounce back. He's been throwing pretty much everything he can at the net. Unfortunately, not able to get anything to go. He's going to have to get a goal here early and maybe draw some more penalties to even have a chance to bounce back at this thing.
Down 3-0 Virta with Ekholm now. Looking for a shot, can't find one. Barkov has it for Virta. L2. Ekholm almost went offside, but kept it in the offensive zone. Kucherov with a golden opportunity, and a huge one-time opportunity. A big save there. Barkov has it again. Looking for Marner there, can't find him. Wow, 2 big chances for Virta, but closing the door for Pleemaker is Sergei Bobrovsky.
I think Super's got to be confused right now. With the chances that he's had, it's not just one chance. He usually gets 3 good chances in a row whenever he has a good opportunity, and none of them will go. Bob playing his game, and it finally got on the board.
No one-timer there, just takes the shot this time, and it gets through.
Kucherov with the goal, finally found found a little bit of space, and Plee decided not to go with the manual goalie, left it to the AI. That one goes into the top right corner.
Hey, look, miracles can happen. In game number 1, Pleemaker was up 4-0, and Supervirta came back with 3 unanswered goals to bring it within 1. Can that happen here? It's going to have to happen if he wants to continue on and push this to a game 3.
You know he's breathing a sigh of relief. He just had to get that first one. Maybe the floodgates will open up. Maybe Bob will let in a couple soft goals. We need something to get Super back into this game, and that is exactly what we just had. He still has 9 minutes, plenty of time on the clock. We'll see if he can get back into this thing.
And this is where you got to focus on Pleemaker and that youth. You got to wonder. He has been competing for a long time now, and he has been at this stage before. But we saw it in game number 1. Even with a substantial lead, we do see a little crack in the armor at times. And so another opportunity there for Supervirta. So you got to wonder whether or not Pleemaker can stay composed and keep the lead in a situation like this.
I think he's going to be thinking back to that first game where he was down. Well, he was up 4-0, almost ended up giving up that lead. He's going to think, hey, you know what? This is not going to happen again for the rest of this tournament. He's going to do everything that he can to get this thing right. Looks like Plee may be having an issue with his controller. They're going to get that fixed up. Very sportsmanlike play from Super to dump it down the ice, get the ice. They were able to get a pause.
Well, we've seen Plee's dominance. He hasn't scored the 5 so far, but the chances are there and the opportunities are there as well. But we saw Super in this period get a couple of them as well. Your reaction, he's coming close, coming close, coming close. Just how hard is it to come back when an opponent is up that big?
It's very difficult, but for Super to have been able to do that in game number 1 really shows you the poise that he has. But I also wonder about Pleemaker, just more so in the fact that he's still a very young player. He's not like, there's many young players in this tournament, but for Pleemaker, we saw he came so close last year, and you got to wonder how that's going to factor in mentally and how much he'll be able to maintain his composure, just like his best buddy Eki is able to do, because that could be still a question mark for Pleemaker because we haven't seen him cross that line just yet.
Right, and we're going to see, you know, what's going to happen, especially in these later rounds. Is he going to bounce back? It looks like
he just got a goal there. I believe we're coming back to a goal for Pleemaker. So they resumed off camera, and we do have a goal for Pleemaker, so he basically told me to shut up.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It may have been a very fast one right off the draw.
There
yeah, he tied up off the draw, was able to set up a nice little one-timer. That's Plee's face-off ability. You see it come in, and Tarasenko with a nice goal.
Basically, he probably heard us talking about him, and he said, you want some proof? Here's your proof right here. I'll score a goal and take it out possibly without outside of reach here with 4:30 to go in the third period. Pleemaker's leading the series 1-0 and now leading this game 4-1. Might be too much for Supervirta, but you never know. Ovechkin has it, possibly a 5th right here, and it is. Pleemaker gets his 5th goal. Ovechkin, you just can't leave him alone like that.
No, it's Ovechkin and Tarasenko. They're just putting on a show out here. Plee, again, you were talking just a couple moments ago. Is he going to do it? Is he going to be able to hold on? And yes, without a doubt, absolutely. The thumbs up from his mom there.
Look,
the support is unreal.
Anytime you get a thumbs up from mom, that's always a good thing. And that's a beauty right there, just over the shoulder of Braden Holtby. And of course, Ovi is going to enjoy the fruits of his labor, even outside of his office. Able to score goals is number 8.
And how about that first line, too? We talk about the difference makers in this game. You know, Ovechkin, Tarasenko, Couturier, his first line. They've come in with, I think, most of the goals in this game, potentially all 5. It has to be at least 4 of them. That's been the difference maker in this one and will help Plee throughout the rest of this tournament.
I mean, Pleemaker all but moving on to the next round here. We still have 2 minutes to go in the third period, but my goodness, the next round matchup facing Hanselino, that is a possible final in any tournament, and one of those 2 competitors, Pleemaker and Hanselino, one of them is going to have to go home.
Yeah, both competitors last year, both have been on the big stage before. We asked them before, are you nervous going into this thing? They said, no, we were here last year, we know what we're doing, we are prepared this year, and now we're going to see them go head-to-head. Hanselino, Pleemaker, this is going to be one of the most exciting matchups in this tournament, aside from the final, of course.
Supervirta certainly disappointed perhaps in this result, but happy with the experience. He said he's very happy to have qualified here, and he's definitely taking his streaming more seriously. And we mentioned a lot of the players, almost a 6th goal there for Pleemaker, still has the puck in front of the net. Taking streaming more seriously, does have a full-time job, but rising to prominence in the streaming community, particularly in Scandinavia, is Supervirta.
And it's worth noting, this is actually his first year ever really going competitive. He obviously has been streaming a long time, streams pretty much every single day. This is his first year really. He wanted to sit down, he wanted to grind, he wanted to be one of the best in the game, and making this tournament, he's shown that he is that. He can come back stronger next year and do it yet again.
He did mention to us as well that holding the trophy would be more important. The pride of winning would be more important than the tournament winnings themselves. But he can certainly take pride, like you said, in having qualified for this tournament. A monumental task in itself, but it will be Pleemaker moving on to the next round in a heavyweight tilt against Hanselino.
5 goals. He said he wants to score 5 goals a game. That is 2 straight games with at least 5, 11 goals in total in 2 games. And guys, on top of him winning so dominantly, it's been dominant from all, you could say, the favorites so far. None of these original series going beyond the 2-game minimum. Says a lot about what we can expect for the second round. Before we talk about that, I want to talk about this first game, because it was Supervirta yesterday who said Pleemaker is really skilled with his offensive players, and Nasher, he chose those offensive players pretty early because of his ability to be impactful with them.
Absolutely, and that just shows a lot about Ple's kind of strategy going into this thing. He knows, you know, I'm an offensive-minded guy. He decided to go with the forwards first. That first line, of course, resulting in just every single goal on the ice for his team. Ovechkin coming in huge, Tarasenko. Pleemaker knows what he's doing out there. He knows what he's doing with the draft, and it really paid off for him.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of the highlights and, again, focus on the guys who did score those goals, because, Arda, it was that big line. You talked about him a lot because they were on the ice a lot and scoring a lot as well.
Yeah, he found immense success. And it was interesting asking Pleemaker about his draft, because he sort of hesitated and said, you know, if I were to do it again, maybe I wouldn't take Tarasenko in that position. Maybe I would have taken a center. He does have Sean Couturier, as he placed the C on his jersey there, as Mom watches on, in between Tarasenko and Ovechkin. But to me, this worked in spades in this series, Nasher.
Yeah, it's hard to believe. You know, sometimes you get a little bit lucky. He didn't know that he wanted to draft Tarasenko, and he ended up being probably one of the best players in this game aside from Ovechkin. Huge goals all around. Super did put up a good fight. You can see him bouncing back a little bit here, but in the end, Ple's offense was too deadly. He was too much to handle.
And it was that first line, Ovechkin and Tarasenko specifically, getting 4 of the 5 goals in this game. Lindholm with the other one, the opening one, to get him through. And there's Mom. The thumbs up means her son is going through. And like you guys said, it sets up a very, very exciting semifinal as these two shake hands. And we say goodbye to Supervirta. We say hello to Pleemaker, who's going to try once again, but his opponent, Hanselino, is no slouch. That should be fun. And Eki and Kriketsi on the top side. Guys, your thoughts initially on this bracket?
What a clean sweep. Complete 2-0 victories for all of the heavyweights moving on in this tournament. And now you have a Final Four that a lot of people would say is very appropriate. You have the 3 returning regional finalists from 2018. You have Kriketsi, who the other 3 have essentially said that is probably the best, if not them, in this tournament. So you have a very heavy-duty semifinal.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable looking at this. Kriketsi is the guy that just started playing competitively and just got back in NHL for the first time in 5 years. So to see him on the list with Eki, Hanselino, Pleemaker, it shows anything's possible in this tournament.
All right, we know it is possible for Pleemaker to still go to Vegas. He is through the semifinals. Let's head on over to Carly, standing by with him in the Honda Road to the Finals area.
Thanks, guys. Yep, I'm here with winner Pleemaker. I see your mom is here. How awesome is it to have her support?
Well, he's always like excited when I'm playing, because he's always watching all my games, like 6 or 6 games when I'm home.
It's great to have your #1 fan here, and your next opponent is Hanselino. Tough opponent. What's it going to take to beat him and make it to Las Vegas this year?
Well, he's a top 3 player in the world, so I have to play my best games this year.
And if you do make it to Las Vegas, I have to ask, are you going to wear a 3-piece suit on the plane again?
Of course.
Last question. I have to ask about your poker face. You keep a straight face the entire game. Is that one of your tactics?
Well, I have seen some crazy comebacks, so I'm not usually reacting before the game's end.
Smart idea. All right. Good luck, Pleemaker. Looking forward to watching you play. Guys, back to you.